Astrology, and this is the astrology of Brian Jung. He's a YouTuber, a crypto YouTuber with almost 2 million subscribers. So we're gonna point out here right off the bat, right here in the beginning, something I've been showing you guys about YouTubers, big YouTubers, Aquarius and Uranus. And here we see a stellium. He's got Jupiter at 21 degrees Aquarius, Mars at 8 degrees Aquarius, Uranus at 6 degrees, and Venus at 3 degrees. And Venus is retrograde. So is Venus, the planet of money, is also really redirected there in a sense that it's a Uranian, with that retrograde, it acts as a Uranian planet, and it's conjunct Uranus here. His sun, 7 degrees Capricorn. So people might look at him and be like, oh, he's a Capricorn. I mean, you can't look over the stellium in Aquarius. His sun is making an almost exact aspect, a semi-sextile to that Uranus. Well, what does that mean? That means that his sun is almost, even though it's a Capricorn, it really is flavored by that Uranus, almost like, it's an Aquarius sun. And it's just a little side note here for people that aren't into astrology that much. They like to say, well, with the precession of the equinoxes, the signs are different, or people that use Vedic astrology. I can read a chart and I don't need the signs. I mean, you can see this clearly here. We can read this chart. We don't have the birth time for him. I don't have the location. I just put New York. We don't need any of that, and we can still see clearly why he's a YouTuber, a successful YouTuber. And there's other things I can do with this chart. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I do readings as well. I can do a lot more, which I'm going to show on my channel. I can do with charts. I can do it with your chart. And with this chart, I'm just going to keep it basic, keep it simple. We also can throw in that Neptune there, in that stellium. So when we call when a bunch of planets are together in a sign or a house, we call it a stellium. And we can see with that Neptune Venus conjunction as well. Neptune can be a planet of finance, and when it's conjunct to his Venus, we see he's definitely a financial guy. Often we see this with like musical ability and romance and artistry and creativity. I really don't know if he dabbles in any of those areas, but it also can be a symbol, along with Pisces, of someone who's big into finances. So we do have the sun in Capricorn, and by itself at an early degree. I have sun in Capricorn at a late degree. Often when you see it in an early degree, it really represents someone who is climbing the status ladder more so. I see it more so than someone who has it in a late degree. It doesn't mean that they wouldn't have status or prestige. It's just I think in the early degree, I've seen it in what appear to be younger souls, maybe. And the reason I mention that is because that third decan here of Capricorn, where his Neptune is associated with Virgo. And those first two decans are associated with Capricorn and Taurus. Virgo being something that can be more introverted. But I'm going too deep with that. I want to move on here. Stick to the basics. The key points here: he has a Sagittarius Moon. So, and it's in the Leo decan. So we see somebody who is a salesman, or suggests he's a salesman. And with that Leo part of that, he, is somebody on YouTube, and he's definitely a salesman on YouTube or performer. We see his Chiron here. His Chiron is in Scorpio. My Chiron is in Taurus. And when you have a Chiron in money sign like Taurus or Scorpio, there usually is an emphasis on money, because Chiron is where there's a wound, and you can really go deep if you're aware of it. You can go deep into that wound to try and recover it. And this guy, more likely than not, that is what he has done. See, his north node is in Virgo, south node in Pisces, and I added the asteroids here. We see that asteroid right there. That's Ceres, and that is the asteroid of service, and it's on his south node in Pisces. And this is a guy who, with that south node of Pisces, he could be, again, coming from this financial background, being involved in crypto, and with the Ceres there, he may be somebody who, while he's recovering that wound, he really wants to help people. Pisces can be a sign that oftentimes helps people, cares about people, is empathetic. And then with the North Node, Virgo being associated with service, this could be a guy who's bringing that Pisces energy to his north, really into his North Node, and bringing a service to people through his YouTube channel. And we could see that he has Mercury here squaring the nodes, and it's moving towards this South Node, and it's in Sagittarius. So this idea of him being a salesman, this could be a way of him, I don't mean that negatively, like being a salesperson, a preacher in a way, a teacher maybe a better. I don't really I haven't watched much of his stuff, but he could be a teacher. Sagittarius can be associated with finance as well, so he could be a financial teacher, and he's really bringing, in this life, he has a need to resolve that and resolve that Virgo energy and be of service to the public by teaching them. And it could be in the past, if you're into past lives, it could be that he has spent with this Aquarius and this South Node in Pisces. It could be someone who spent a lot of time by himself and kept knowledge to himself and hasn't really brought it to the public, and when he could be helping a lot of people, and that's what he's doing here in this life. He's he could be going back and forth between doing this, and in this life it's going to be important for him to really step into that Virgo energy, whether it be through service or self-analysis, introspection. We can see as Saturn is making a quincunx to that North Node. So maybe something to do with that Saturn in his life, and his Saturn is in Aries. When I mention the square of the nodes, what it means is some people, they go back and forth between their past and their future, and they don't really come into balance between those two energies. Maybe there could be some indecision, things like that. And when you see that, you can see there's a strong need in this life to do something about it. So that's what I mean by that. See if there's anything else here. It'll be interesting to see if you follow this guy. Pluto is here in Sagittarius. It's going to go over, it hit that Neptune recently, and it's going to go over this Venus here soon, maybe in like 6 months. And then it's going to go through these planets. It'll be interesting to see what Pluto does. Pluto can bring transformation. It can bring big changes in one way or the other. So it'll be interesting to see where his life goes, where his channel goes. And that could, when that occurs, there could be, especially when it hits this Uranus, that could have something to do with that Mercury squaring the nodes. And again, this stuff can mean many different things. It's much easier. Just a point about astrology: it's very difficult to make very accurate assessments on someone's chart without hearing their story. I mean, compared to them giving you their story and discussing it with you, it's very much easier to be astrological detective in that way. So something to keep in mind. I think I will leave it there for now. And if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I appreciate all the comments. And I hope that you enjoy this and you subscribe to the channel for many more great astrology videos. Have a good day.